Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Paul Enos joins us. He's the CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're pleased to welcome back to the program Paul Enos. He is the CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association. As always, I'd like to point out, our landlord here. Thank you always for having us here.
That's right. Sorry we had to move you downstairs. We got some stuff going on, so, you'll be back up in my office in no time.
Well, I appreciate that. And also just want to say that we just appreciate being here. You've been a great host to us. But lots of serious issues going on. First of all, let's talk about the price of gas and the suspension, at least temporarily, of the Jones Act. Does that benefit your industry?
So, I think so, in terms of being able to get oil to California, which is kind of crazy that California, you're having to ship oil into California is kind of nuts, especially with the state that is so absolutely blessed with so many amazing natural resources, including oil. The fact that it's now having to be shipped into that state just shows you how absolutely brain dead Gavin Newsom and the Golden State's energy policies are.
And part of the problem is, of course, that in the last year or so, they've been shutting down refineries, which is the bigger problem. They have the oil, they don't have the refinery capacity.
Well, they do. They have both, right? They've had refineries for years. They have a tremendous amount of oil there that they're not using in those refineries anymore.
Well, they're shutting down the refineries.
Well, they are shutting down the refineries, and why are they doing that? They're shutting them down because California said, "Hey, we want you to build additional storage, in case there's a fuel shortage." Now, trying to get anything built in California is an extremely arduous task. So
that's putting it mildly.
That is putting it mildly. Couple that with absolutely ignorant policies in terms of how the world works on hydrocarbons. Yeah, companies like Chevron have said, we're not doing business here anymore. We're moving to Texas. And it's really unfortunate, especially when you have a state that gives Nevada 88% of our fuel. That's diesel, that's jet fuel, that's gasoline.
88% of it comes from California in 2 pipelines. There's another pipeline that comes from southern Utah into southern Nevada. So what happens in California absolutely has an impact on us. I know a lot of people, we've had gubernatorial candidates try to blame Donald Trump, for the fact that Nevada's fuel prices are high. Nevada's fuel prices are higher than anywhere else in the country other than those states on the West Coast, because we are so dependent on California. And what happens in California absolutely has an impact on Nevada. And I got to give Governor Lombardo a tremendous amount of credit for starting a fuel resiliency task force that I'm blessed to be a part of, where we're looking at what are those options to make Nevada more resilient. How can Nevada not be at the mercy of brain dead policies in California, let alone natural disasters that have occurred that have shut down our fuel supply. Wildfires, earthquakes, all of those things have a negative impact on what happens here. So looking at, can we get something from the Permian Basin? Can we find a place that is a little more politically stable and not as stupid as California is in terms of their energy policies?
All right. Are you talking about a 10-year timeline for something like that?
Sam, I would hope we get it done in 10 years. I mean, honestly, I'd hope we get it done sooner, but it is so hard to build anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, the permitting process, the financial process, the whole thing.
I mean, you look at the Keystone Pipeline. The Keystone Pipeline was, how can we get a pipeline to take oil from North Dakota, which is rich, from the Bakken Reserve, and get it down to the refineries? And that was something that Barack Obama stopped, Donald Trump restarted, Joe Biden stopped. I don't know if it's going to happen again, because once again, you have that political instability.
Well, you also have the price. What's fascinating is the pricing of gas, because these companies will only invest if they think they can make a profit. If right now the cost of a barrel of oil is very high, but if it goes back down to $60 or less, then it no longer makes it financially viable to build those projects.
Well, and that is true, but the reality is we are going to be running on gasoline and diesel and jet fuel for the foreseeable future.
I agree.
Probably until you and I are both in the ground. We will still will still be the lion's share of the energy, specifically for mobility in this country. And for us not to be making those kind of investments, I think is really what holds us back. We talk about China all the time and China's economy, and look what China's doing. China's building power plants. China's building infrastructure. China's building roads. Today, the United States of America is still using infrastructure that was built 3 generations ago, that we haven't improved, that we haven't enhanced, that we haven't said, hey, let's grow this, at a country that is now 330 million people. We need to get back to a place in this nation where we're not adhering to some brain dead theory on global warming that has been disproven over and over and over again.
But they don't call it that anymore. They call it climate change.
You're right. They call it climate change now, right?
Okay,
we always try to move the ball on that stuff.
Okay, but let's look at a different side of this, which is China is able to do this because they are, as a federal government, putting all their money into these new technologies. The United States is at this point $38 trillion in debt. Do we rely on the federal government or private industry to push us into the future?
Well, Sam, I look at it as a partnership, right? What does government do well? I think government does big things well. No,
okay. No, I was going to find my very short list.
No, I mean,
Sorry.
I think talking about a framework for an economy to run in, talking about the framework for moving commerce, talking about a framework for public safety, for a military. I think those are the things that government tends to do well because they can make those investments. They see how infrastructure makes all the things that you and I as citizens care about go. Where government doesn't do well is when they get closer to us. And when you look at every single budget of every state in the country, the top two places they spend money are healthcare and education. Those are only things that succeed with individual effort, yet that's where we're spending the lion's share of our state dollars. So I think maybe we need to take a little bit of a step back and say, all right, we're going to build the infrastructure for folks to move commerce. We're going to build the infrastructure to have a safe country, both militarily, both from a public safety side. We're going to have an infrastructure that allows people to redress their grievances with each other in a court system that's also been completely screwed up. Thank you to the billboard lawyers on that. Those are the things that we should be investing in as a country. And energy is a huge part of making all of that go, from gasoline to electricity. When you don't have those things, or those things are more expensive, it does have an impact on everybody else.
Well, to say the least. And I want to go back to the price of gasoline just for a moment. When reading national papers like the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, and they're talking about how people are shocked that gasoline is now over $4 a gallon, which it is, in the central and eastern parts of the country. And we're paying, I saw a Shell station today, $5.25 for a gallon of gas. It's stunning how much Nevadans are being caught up in this.
And once again, it's because we're beholden to California. If we had an oil field here that was productive, we could build a refinery here. You don't build refineries in places without oil. So, that was,
Okay, but do you see, we've got a gubernatorial election coming up in California. You've got the current governor of California trying to run for president and almost changing his opinion on everything he said in the last 7 years is now being reversed as he, encounters the reality of what happens in the rest of the country.
World?
Yeah. And so, do you not think
Gavin Newsom isn't the only problem in California?
No,
California has a myriad of problems besides Gavin Newsom. He's a big one, but California's policies and what they have put in place over the last 40 years is why we have 10 refineries operating in the Golden State as opposed to 50.
Okay, my point, though, was going to be that at a certain point, the population that can't afford to get to work because they can't pay for gasoline to get there, and they can't afford the food they're buying, and the list goes on, that you will see changes in the political system. You saw it in San Francisco when the homeless situation got so far out of control that the DA got booted out of office, and they brought somebody in who actually could deal with the reality of the situation on the ground. But it's not okay to walk down Market Street and find feces and urine all over the place.
Hey, Sam, I hope that's the case. I mean, I think when Steve Sisolak was governor and we were doing everything California was, that was some of Nevada's darkest days.
Yeah, he also only had one term.
Luckily. I think that with California right now, and they call it a jungle primary, there's
because it's an open primary.
It's an open primary,
which I would love to see in Nevada, by the way.
I wouldn't. I think it's awful, and I think the Democrats in California are going to think it's awful too, because right now your top two contenders, polling wise, in the state of California for governor, is Chad Bianco, sheriff in Riverside County, and Steve Hilton, former Fox News host. So we could, and Elon Musk says that it's typically the funniest outcome that happens. You could have an instance where California has two Republicans in the general election because they are the top two in the primary. Eric Swalwell, who is an absolute lightweight, Katie Porter, Tom Steyer, a guy who made his money on oil and then became, some crazy environmentalist. They're all polling under the top two Republicans. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. I pray for the Golden State every day. I think it is the most blessed place on the planet Earth that has been absolutely decimated by leftist politics. And I pray that they're able to fix it. Now, hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger had an opportunity, didn't quite work out, but what happens in California, good and bad, has a direct impact on what happens to folks here in the Silver State.
As James Carville said, it's the economy, stupid. And I think that as the economy affects more and more Californians, they may rethink who they're voting for, and we shall see. But let's take a break, make some money, and we'll be right back after this timeout.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
The road to riches leads straight to the Carson Valley Inn. Cash drawings Thursday and Saturdays. Over 480 winners. Score up to $15,000 weekly. Plus one $10,000 cash winner and the $20,000 guaranteed grand prize giveaways. Free meals, free play, and more. Only at the Carson Valley Inn.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Paul Enos. He's the CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association. We've been talking about electric trucks for a while. Have things changed to where, and also self-driving trucks, to where the technology has advanced enough to where this is going to be a major change in the industry, at least on the main freeways?
Maybe.
Why maybe?
So, there are a number of electric trucks that are being made by all of the traditional, they call them OEMs. That means original equipment manufacturer. So Peterbilt, Kenworth, International, Packard is Peterbilt.
Yeah, they're all the big players.
They all have electric trucks. The energy density that we see in those battery packs don't quite meet the energy density that you get in a gallon of diesel. Now, I don't know what the specs are on a Tesla truck, but Tesla does have about 20, 25 trucks that are operating between Northern Nevada and California, moving stuff for Pepsi. They may have more energy density in those batteries than some of the OEMs. I mean, I think Tesla knows how to do electric better than anybody else. So that's why I say maybe. I think that there is a phenomenal opportunity for electric trucks, definitely in the local market, in a place that has a dedicated route where a truck is going to be leaving and going to the same place every night, you're not running, hundreds and hundreds of miles a day over the road and not exactly sure where you're going to end up at the end of the day. So I think that electric trucks in that realm, makes sense. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the energy density is on these battery packs of this Tesla truck, because if they can compete with a gallon of diesel, then that's going to make sense. But it all comes down to how much energy is in that and how much do they weigh? How much does that truck weigh compared to a conventional truck? Because trucks don't just move to move. They move to move freight. And the more freight that you can have on that truck, the more efficient it is. So weight does matter. I don't know what the specs are on a Tesla truck. I haven't seen them because they sell direct. I get to see them on the OEMs that sell through dealerships because they have to approve them. So, there might be a difference there that I have not seen yet, but I'm a fan of all of the above energy, Let's see what we can do. All of the above, technology to move freight. It's going to be the market that determines what is most efficient.
Have driverless moved quicker than you thought? Because in Texas,
no,
that's happening.
It's kind of moved slower than I thought.
Really?
And I think a lot of that is regulation, but there's also a real world impact when you think about the cargo theft that occurs in this country. I've seen numbers as high as 35 billion. Probably $6 is a safe number, $6 to $8 billion a year in cargo theft. If you have trucks moving valuable freight across a nation's highway without a driver in it, I think that number is going to go up quite a bit. So I do think there are some real world things that are going to stop widespread adoption of driverless vehicles.
You mean even with that, with all the technology we have available to be able to monitor? I mean,
okay, you monitor, but hey, I guess you can watch somebody steal your freight now. I mean,
ask Guy Fieri, right?
So
the tequila disappeared.
Yeah, and that is absolutely a problem, and it's something that our folks contend with every day.
Well, that's why container ships became the standard, was because there was so much theft, and there was huge fights with the unions when those were coming in line. Now they have container ships all over the world, but still stuff is getting stolen.
Sure, and do you know where that stuff gets stolen more than any place? It gets stolen on the rail. Why? Because you have a train that's a mile long, and you have two people on that train who aren't monitoring everything. I mean, we saw this a few years ago down in Southern California. Once again, Gavin Newsom and the wonderful policies that the Golden State has adopted. You had a rail yard that was completely trashed because people had gotten into those cars and had stolen the freight that was on those cars. So, you look at that in terms of supply chain security. I think you're going to have drivers around for a long time. And I mean, I liken this to the airline, Sam. For 50 years, planes have been able to take off, fly, and land with autopilot. When I got on Southwest last week, go down to Las Vegas, there wasn't just one pilot on there, there were two. So I don't think you're going to see a driver out of that cab for a long, long time.
All right, we'll take another break. More with Paul Enos after this timeout.
You'll be rolling with some swag during the $150,000 Spring Bling giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Make it rain with up to $5,000 in cash every week and 20 large in cash guaranteed during the grand finale drawing. We're blinging in your good times at Tamarack Casino.
2025 is bringing big changes for Nevada businesses. If you have more than 5 employees and have been operating for 3 years or more, you must now comply with new state retirement plan mandates. The Vegas Chamber 401k plan makes it easy, offering a proven, customizable, and cost-effective plan for employers and employees to save with tax advantages. Visit vegaschamber.com to explore options and see how the Vegas Chamber can help you start saving for your future.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dog's puppy in training, Cooper.
Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Paul Enos. He's the CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association. And as if you didn't have enough going on, you now have a self-insured group.
So the Nevada Trucking Association has sponsored the Nevada Transportation Network self-insured group for over 30 years. We've decided to take that management in-house so we can streamline our services, so we can have more efficiency, in terms of rates. When I'm looking at what is happening right now in the commercial market, the NCCI, National Council on Compensation Insurance, which the state of Nevada contracts with, is setting workers' comp rates on the commercial market at a 22% increase this year. That happened in March. So we want to have a place for members to go to be able to save them money, to be able to show them how to operate safer, to be able to make sure that if, God forbid, somebody is injured, that they're going to be taken care of, and we're going to make them whole, and we're going to get them back to a place where they can work again, or if not, that they're going to be taken care of. So we're really excited about Ascendant Nevada, which is owned and operated by the Nevada Trucking Association, being able to take that over, and really excited about the programs that we're offering. It's always a rodeo, but this is a time where folks in that commercial market are going to be seeing a very substantial rate increase. I said 22%. It's 21.9. I hope it's okay. Round it up.
Okay.
So we're doing that, taking over officially on April 1st. And if anybody in the manufacturing field, in the trucking field, in the logistics field, if they're looking for workers' comp insurance, I hope they come to us.
And that's where we have to leave it. Paul Enos, congratulations on this latest venture, and we will talk to you soon, I am sure.
Thanks, Sammy.
You're welcome. And we'll be right back.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, and our archive goes back to 2002, so you can look at all kinds of historic interviews right here on Nevada Newsmakers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.